Guys, before this video starts, I want to tell you about this sick website that sells hella cheap NBA jerseys. The website is ringchasers.com. I copped myself a few jerseys on there a while back, and I honestly don't know how their prices are this cheap. If you guys want to get a sick deal on a jersey, make sure you check them out. Link will be in the description, and use code LQG at checkout for an extra 10% off. What's going on, guys? It's LQG, and today I'm back with another video. So today we have for you guys NBA Legends Explain, their best game ever. Make sure to let me know down in the comments below which videos to do next, and I'll keep bringing videos like this for you guys. Also, smash the like button. Let's see if we can hit 100 likes on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel to catch all the new content. We're releasing daily videos for the rest of 2021, so make sure you don't miss out. With that being said, let's get into NBA Legends Explain what their best game was.
I don't know if when you consider your greatest nights, if it's a team thing or if it's an individual thing, but as a member of 4 championship teams and also a guy who has scored 61 points in a game, how do you classify it?
I'm gonna have to go with the individual thing, and that probably was my best game. That night, it was my birthday, and we had a party. So, you know, usually I go home.
Before or after the game?
No, after the game.
In the game.
Big party, so, you know, usually I go home, eat lunch, take a nap, and get ready for the game. But we playing against the great Keith Kloss and the LA Clippers. So I'm taking the night off. I got to get ready for the party. I got the Bentley, I got my suit, so I'm gonna go, you know, I'll shave. We're gonna beat them. So we get out there and they killing us. Now everybody looking at me. So now I got to play. I didn't get my nap. I'm getting tired. So I'm just scoring. So I look over to the bench and I see one of my idols telling Keith Kloss how to stop me. I see Kareem saying, "You got to do this. You got to do that." Now I'm pissed. Kareem, Laker. Oh, now so I'm like, give me the ball. So I'm scoring, and you know I get 61. I'm throwing lobs, and I'm actually kind of upset at Phil because I think we had like 5 minutes left, and he took me out. I think he did that because he didn't want me to score more than Mike. That's what I think. That's what
61 points. Yeah. 61 points, 23 rebounds against Keith Kloss.
Video game.
The great. And still went to the party. Still went to the party.
Jet, we saw your performance from long range in the finals on the greatest stage the game has. When you see that, what comes to mind about that night and about just that moment? And you saw your dad.
So my dad, actually, that was the Knicks finals, but when we played Orlando, you know, that was probably the most memorable individual night, only because we were Western Conference teams, and so we really didn't play against them that much. We only played against them twice. And so you might be catching them on a back-to-back. They might be catching us on the 3 nights and 5 games, whatever, three games, whatever. So you don't really feel like you're always your best in the regular season. So we didn't know what they were. And then all of a sudden, we're at our best, they're at their best, and they go up about 17 points. And we really didn't think we could beat them. And it was kind of a shocking wake-up call because they were young.
How does that make you feel now? You hear that?
I told Brian Hill we don't need to double. Listen, Akeem gonna get us 27. I'm gonna get my 25. Now, you know, he doubling and we just kept kicking out to Kenny, and I think you had, what, 7 threes that game?
NBA record, somewhere like that. I lost count at like 5 or 6. Record book at that time. Hey, Reg, I lost count at like 5 or 6.
At that time, 7 out of 11.
Listen, I kept saying, stop doubling them, man. Well, we got to stop at King. Well, they got to stop me too. Stop doubling.
Yeah.
You double and they kick it out, and then you got to worry about him. You got to worry about Big Shot Bob.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
It's a great feeling because it's the biggest stage at the same time, and you having one of your better games in a bigger stage individually. But it was more rewarding for the team because we didn't think we could beat them.
That was game one?
That was game one. Yeah. We were really shocked that they were that good.
Hey, Steve, when we've seen the video before too of the huddle beforehand.
He comes up, I'll be ready.
You should take me through that. And again, you talk about big stages where Kenny's talking about hitting all those threes. Game on the line in the NBA Finals, and it was your moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's been replayed on NBA TV several times, so I always have the TiVo ready and gather the family around. No, I mean, you know what? That's the moment that every kid dreams of, and to actually have lived it is pretty incredible. But you know, I didn't have a great series, but I was having a decent game. I just made a few shots in the fourth. I was feeling pretty good, and Michael was always looking ahead to what was next. He was always kind of envisioning the next play, and he said during the timeout, he said, Stockton's going to come double team me, so be ready. And I looked way more confident in that shot than I really was. I was like, oh my God, okay. But I just said, you know what, just fire away. And that's the best advice anybody ever gave me was, don't think, shoot. You know, as soon as you start thinking, that's when you miss. And I just made up my mind, if I got the ball, I was gonna shoot, and luckily it went in.
Hey, Charles, sometimes, you know, when you talk to a baseball pitcher who has a big night, and they'll say, look, I really didn't feel it in the bullpen beforehand, didn't feel like I had my great stuff, and he throws a one-hitter. Is there any way to foretell a 56-point night?
No. First of all, that wasn't my best game. That was the night I scored.
Excuse me. Best numbers.
No, that was the best. No, I'm saying that was
best numbers.
No, I'm saying that was the most points I scored in the game. But I actually personally think Game 7 to get to the finals is the best game I ever played. I had 44 and 24. That actually, the game against the Warriors was only a first-round playoff game. But to get to the finals, I remember it was Game 7s are no joke. But to get to the finals for my first time and to score 44 and 24, that's the best game I ever played. The game against C. Webb and those guys was just revenge.
That was by Byron Houston.
We
told Coach, don't let Byron Houston check the check. Like, no, he's strong. He's like, he's 6'1". Don't let him check Big Chuck.
Because that game was so funny because I remember
Byron Houston.
Yeah, and I remember I went to the bench and I says, you're not gonna double me? He said, nope. Because I had a triple-double. I think that was Game 3. So I had a triple-double Game 1, I had about 8 assists in Game 2. So Nelly says, we're not gonna double you tonight. I says, you're not? So I scored like 17 points the first quarter. So I run over again. I said, let me ask you, you're not gonna double me. He says, you can get as many as you want. I said, okay. I was done.
Hey, you know, when we looked at that video of you hit 9 threes that night, we were looking at the video and what everybody on the panel was doing is saying, give us a straight face. There was no emotion on your face. It was just like, this is what I do.
It was. We were losing that game. But I think my individual game that I really remembered, I was traded for Steve Kerr and Derek Anderson from Portland. And it's the business of basketball. I drove up to Seattle to visit Bob Whitsitt, our general manager, because there was trade rumors about me getting traded. And he said, oh, no, Steve, you're not going anywhere. The next morning, I was traded. Wow. So, Kenny, I marked that game when we went back to Portland. I was 8 for 8 from behind the line, and I was really mad at Pop.
I remember.
Mad at Pop because he took me out, Reg. I wanted that. Let me have that game. 8 for 8. I got a text because I was going at Bob Whitsitt, the general manager.
You were glaring at it. He was
sitting with Paul Allen, and every time I hit a shot, Reg, I kept looking at it. That was the game for me because I had X'd that game because he had told me you wasn't get traded, which that's the business. By the time I got back home from driving to Seattle, he traded me the next morning.
Wow. When we looked at your 51-point game, I don't know who was in that video more, you or Reg. It did come against the Indiana Pacers. What do you remember about that night?
I remember the whole night. I remember I usually wasn't late for games. I tried to get to the game. You know, it's an hour and a half. I wanted to get there like an hour 10 and get in my own space. In this game, I was later than that. And I, just wasn't feeling it. I grew up, Isaiah Thomas was one of my favorite players from the Pistons. He was the coach. Reg, one of my favorite players. And Jalen, I just remember being uncomfortable. The game, getting there late, not feeling good. And then during the game, it just all came out. Kind of how you said, the picture. I didn't have any type of feeling. I knew I took a lot of shots, but I remember I kept missing layups.
I remember took a lot of shots.
Steve, I promise you, Steve, if you look at that game, I don't know how many shots I took, probably a million. I guarantee you I missed 13 tip-backs. I guarantee you I had to miss 10 layups that night. So I just remember that, had a lot of energy, took a lot of shots.
We'll save that. We'll save the day at the Garden for last here, Reggie, because when we look at that video and everybody, it means something to everybody here. I mean, and they all look at it, man, I can't believe that was, that's 8 points in 8.9 seconds or whatever, however you break it down. But did you know that ball was going in? Do you know those balls are going in? It's almost like you knew. Just give me a shot at it, I will make it.
Well, a lot to what Steve said, for shooters, you just shoot, you don't think. And basically you're just reacting in that situation. But, I mean, that's the 8 points in 9 seconds, whatever, is the great game. But to me, what's more memorable was the 25-point quarter I had against the Knicks in the conference finals the year before in '94.
Here's Butler.
swings away and hits. Reggie Miller is on fire. Miller open again. His foot on the line. That's a two-pointer. Reggie Miller giving the choke sign to Spike Lee.
You know, we're all talking about games.
Yeah. The choke sign. Choke sign.
It's the playoff games, and most of these, what we're talking about, are playoff games, which everyone is alluding to, because obviously that's when the pressure is probably at its greatest, and you've got to play your best. So that's what you try to remember the most.
You ready? You know what's interesting about that game? We had the next TV game, so we all had to leave for the game. When we got to the game, we said, man, the Knicks beat the Pacers today. Like, what are you guys talking about? They're like, the Knicks won the game. They're like, you didn't see the last couple seconds? Reggie went crazy. They were like, no, the Knicks won that game. We had to go back and look at the highlight, and we were like, that's unbelievable.
And a footnote to this entire segment, the field goal attempts for Chris Webber.
I figured you were going to say that.
47.
You just heard two of the best shooters in the game say, think about it and let it go. I wasn't thinking that night.
So that's it for this video, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure you leave a like and also subscribe to the channel. Like I said at the beginning, we're releasing daily videos for all of 2021, so you don't want to miss out. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.